Next on News 20 at 5, shots fired at Strozier, leave one dead.
He refuses to surrender. As a result of this encounter, Mr. May is shot and killed.
Details up next. News 20 at 5 starts right now.
From the highest of 7 hills in Florida's capital city, covering every corner of the Big Bend, this is the award-winning News 20 at 5 Live.
From midnight madness to business as usual, Florida State University continues to recover from tragedy. Welcome to the special edition of News 20 at 5. I'm Donovan Long. Gunshots struck Strozier Library at Florida State University early Thursday morning. FSU alumnus Myron May fired shots with a handgun, wounding 3. Police say at least 30 rounds were exchanged before May was shot dead after refusing to surrender. But even those who weren't pierced with a bullet continued to heal from the emotional wounds of having a gunman on campus. FSU student Devin Ford shared his experience from Strozier.
We all heard the gunshots, and there was so much ambiguity. We didn't know what was going on, who shot what, blah, blah, blah. And then within 5 minutes, one of the officers came over the PA system.
Police responded to the scene as quickly as students fled. Student witnesses say they valued their lives more than their supplies. Some left shoes, book bags, and laptops. Florida State student Paul Warmerins left everything, including his phone. An official escorted him past the yellow tape into Strozier to retrieve his belongings Thursday afternoon. Here's his take on what he saw inside.
Just looks like everybody tried to leave in a rush. There were chairs that were flipped over, chairs that were up on tables, and it just looks chaotic inside.
Classes were canceled Thursday, but as FSU President John Thrasher said earlier, today they're getting back to normal. Classes resumed and Strozier Library reopened this morning. News 20 at 5's very own Brittany Collins has been at FSU the past couple of days gathering details. Today she joins us live in the studio. But Brittany, what can you tell us about the shooting? What's going on?
Well, about 450 to 500 students were studying in the library, and in mere minutes, everything broke out into chaos. Books turned into barriers as Florida State Strozier Library was turned into a crime scene. Witnesses say everything happened so fast. First came gunshots, then text messages spread urging students to take caution.
I just stood there and everyone just started screaming, and all these girls behind me just take off running, including my friends. One of them grabbed me and trying to get me to run, but I kind of just stood there for about 10 seconds before I was like, okay, this is dangerous, I shouldn't be here anymore. So I turned around and took off sprinting with everyone.
The FSU Police Department say it was fast communication that helped the students. The shooter, identified as alumnus Myron May, was in the building.
He then exits the library, where he's confronted by FSU police officers and Tallahassee Police Department police officers. He refuses to surrender. As a result of this encounter, Mr. May is shot and killed by the officers.
Police say they responded to the reports of the gunfire within 3 to 5 minutes. 2 students and 1 employee were wounded with gunshots. Students were visibly shaken Thursday, but their morale has improved as time continues to distance them from the shooting. Witnesses I spoke to said they're just thankful the police responded as fast as they did. FSU Police Chief David Perry says authorities responded to the call at 12:25 a.m., but by 12:27 the gunman was dead. But let's get back to Donovan with details on just who Myron May was.
Brittany, thank you, and our hearts do go out to those families of those who were wounded. Now, May graduated from Florida State in 2005 before receiving his law degree from Texas Tech University. Investigators obtained warrants to search his car and cell phone to review additional evidence. Police also said he had journals and videos that expressed his fears of being targeted. They say he was in a state of crisis. Multiple reports say May reached out to friends to inform them of packages they would receive today. One official says a package was delivered to Texas and is already being investigated by the FBI. We'll continue to update you. Now, we mentioned earlier that May fired shots that wounded 3 people. Multimedia journalist Brianna McGregor went to Tallahassee Memorial Hospital this afternoon for an update on the victims.
Police say May wounded 2 students and 1 employee when he fired shots in Strozer Library. 1 student was treated on the scene and released. The second victim, Nathan Scott, was shot in the leg and is now being treated here at TMH with his family by his side recovering. The third victim is in critical condition. However, TMH can't release any information because of privacy laws.
Well, coming up next on News 20 at 5, we'll tell you why the president is taking action against immigration without the consent of Congress. And the latest on what's happening in Ferguson. Stay tuned. You're watching News 20 at 5.